As the seasons change, many of us feel inspired to refresh our living spaces. Spring cleaning, while daunting, can be approached with ease and efficiency. Here with the tips and tricks is Christina Lee, co-founder of Graceful Spaces Organizing. Christina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So, Graceful Spaces, talk to me about it.
Graceful Spaces is a luxury interior organizing company. We started in Austin, Texas 7 years ago. It's hard to believe we have our 7-year anniversary, but my business partner Rebecca and I started it, and then I had the opportunity to bring it to Charleston. We have 24 people within our company, very, very much focused on the blend between form and function, being able to do things really beautifully but make sure it sticks and it's sustainable.
And now, obviously, you've had success over these past 7 years, so you have methods that work.
Yes.
So starting from square one, before we get to the pretty stuff, we gotta do the dirty work.
Yes.
So where do I start?
That's such a great question, and a lot of times it's very tempting to jump to purchasing the items because it is really fun. But before you get there, it's going to be way more fun if we can do the core here. So the first thing that we say is using the CEO method: categorize, edit, and then organize, to kind of keep yourself to that standard. Categorizing is such an impactful part of your process because it's going to help you see what you have. When you pull everything out, the first thing you want to do is eliminate items that you want to let go of, right?
Okay.
So you've got a toolkit. I'm going to show you trash bags, sorting bins, painter's tape, and a Sharpie.
Okay.
So you go to categorize. The first thing you might identify is broken items or just straight up trash.
Okay.
Black trash bags. Donate items that you know you don't need to keep, white trash bags. It's important to have the different colors because as you get going, it's very easy to start, wait a minute, where did that go? What did that do? And so many people have told me, I donated my trash and trashed my donations.
Yeah, I'm sure
so
that
this is a
happens.
quick little tip to avoid that with these trash bags. After you've picked your donations and your trash, the next thing you can do is start sorting the things that you want to keep, categorizing how you want to use them.
Yeah.
So these are sorting bins, and they're what our professional team of organizers use at Graceful Spaces. And so they come in all different sizes. You can get small, you can get big. And these are really helpful because what you can do is as you start identifying categories, here's all my baking items, or here's all my spatulas, here's all my sprinkles, you've got a containment.
Yeah.
Using the painter's tape and the Sharpie, you can put your intended category on the front of it. It seems very simple, like why wouldn't I remember? But if you've ever done a process and you start putting everything out, it's overwhelming. And what was already overwhelming when it was inside your cabinet is now out in your home. And so this is a way to maintain the process. Another thing that also helps is if you have an intention of, I want to move this to another room, this goes back to someone else, you've got that notated. So
do you recommend doing like room by room, like rather than doing everything all at once and then going?
Absolutely, absolutely. And completing that room fully before you move on to the next. When our professional team of organizers do it, we work in hubs, spaces that support one another, but that's a whole nother beast with 4 people. So for an individual who's organizing, I would suggest, And what's cool about these is if you are doing room by room, these category bins that you've invested in can be used in every room. And then when you're done with them, you can use them for a storage space, something like that. But I really like because they stack and then they've got the lids. So if you do pause your organizing project for the evening, you've got it, you could take it off the kitchen counter, you can move it somewhere else. An alternative, if you didn't want to invest in that, would just simply be to use Amazon boxes, though you probably have to have a lot of them.
Yeah. And now, as far as where to start, like, do you recommend tackling like the living room first, or should I start in the smaller rooms, like the bathrooms?
Yeah, well, honestly, the kitchen is a really big impact for people, and it really helps get the whole family on the same page because it's a community space. So our teams will start with the kitchen, pantry, and laundry room. A laundry room is another really, really great place because there's a lot of solid categories there. So laundry room would maybe be my pick. But we also talk about underneath the sinks. That's also a really easy way.
Yes, I got an under the sink organizer and it changed my life.
It does.
It really did. And it does make me feel good when I open up my under the sink and it's all neat and organized. And these are really nice. So explain the different purposes of these. I mean, it's everything, right?
Sure, yeah. So when you're organizing underneath the sink, these are drawers that come out. They're really awesome. They've contained into 2 different categories. So what you could do is have your dish towels and maybe your dish pods. You could also have sponges, all the categories of things that you want to have. These also stack, so you could have a second drawer up here for more categories. You can also put the turntable on top. We've seen people do this. The turntable is a really good one to put your everyday items. So I suggest a turntable right in the middle of underneath your sink for every day. This longer deep bin is for overflow. So just like this, where you might have multiples of something, you can keep your overflow here, but then you know to use these items first. So you don't have multiple items open, but you're also not running back and forth to the store.
Yeah,
and then the really cool thing is this item that goes in the inside of a door. You can, again, put your cleaning pods, you could put your scrub brushes, you could put anything in there. And honestly, this one works really well for the inside of a bathroom. You could put your hairspray. You could put it anywhere, really. It's a really great one.
These are beautiful. But then for more organizational, that people will see. These are absolutely stunning, and I feel like it's came such a long way over the past few years. And you have a link on your website where people can purchase these things, right?
Yeah, so gracefulspaces.com has a lot of resources there. There's a lot of inspirations in our home tours, but there's also shoppable links where you can go and see what we use for those spaces. If you go to our website and go to projects, we actually link so you can see it actually in action. You can see a pantry, you can kind of get inspired with the design and then purchase those items. What I always recommend is kind of picking your base colors for the space. It's so great that in the last 5 years, the Home Edit Neat Method I designed has exploded with options for us. And so even just this setup comes all in black. These baskets also come in a burnt orange, so you can really create a design in your space.
Christina, I have never been more excited to go home and organize and clean. Thank you so much. GracefulSpaces.com is where you can find all this fun stuff, and also reach out to Christina and her wonderful team.
We'd be happy to help.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
We're back after this.